Love the t-shirts. Love the t-shirts. Lots of people.
I want to see I'm like
Healthy.
How you feeling?
64.
Feeling very good.
Good. I know, your first event. Say it. First event. Mommy's first
I
event.
have mocked these.
Got a lot of people from our Toronto area.
Giving out t-shirts, which I think we are, unless you want to come to one quickly. I'm going to need some help carrying some of these to the hill. We'll abandon the box, but if anybody can help me with the t-shirts, I don't have room in my tiny backpack to carry the rest of them. If anybody can volunteer to help me carry those, if you have room in your backpack, if you have an extra bag, somebody to carry those.
I can just carry them.
I got some room. Okay, great.
That's the banner I brought. Yes, it is. All of it.
I've been working every day just to save some money.
Sorry, that's what I'm going to be talking about.
Pay for them.
People who are on the bus with me, they got a copy of the March chant.
Oh, Marshall
on the Montreal
debriefing.
bus, you need a copy of the March chant. Come and get them right now.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll just spread out along.
Maybe I should Sorry. A soggy one? You want some lyrics?
I think she just picked them up right over there.
Oh hey, oh my gosh, I was like, where are you?
I'm forcing her a hug.
I was avoiding sir.
Would you like this beverage?
How are you?
Good, good. Nervous. So nervous, I don't know why.
Why are we nervous? Hi, I'm nervous.
Oh, hi. Michelle. Nervous singing, presenting, speeching. I'm just nervous.
You said you're more nervous than just by individual. This is a whole group of people.
I know, but I guess I was more naked. She just said naked.
Sorry, what? What?
I didn't mean that. But I did. But I was more nervous when we were at the restaurant. I couldn't eat at the vegan restaurant this morning. I just could not eat. And thankfully I brought my shake and all this stuff for after. What happened? Oh, I know, he told me. I know, I'm gonna go. We actually parked at the Maynard thing over there. So as we walk back, we're gonna get those done. I brought my fork. But yeah, that's cool. And that would be from, yeah, like,
That's brilliant.
my story behind that, I found this fork in a garage sale when I was 15 years old and not vegan. And I bought it for like $2 and I kept it forever. And when I took the Liberation Pledge 3 years ago, I was like, I have a fork in my stuff.
But just to come over
Like I already have a fork. Like I already have, and that's what they do. That's what they do. They wrap a fork around their wrist. And I was like, I already have a fancy fork.
Last thing you guys need before we start marching is
Yeah, nice to meet you.
resource cards. Jenny McQueen was kind enough to bring us resource cards. You guys have people looking at us, not knowing.
I think I have over here. Let me go check too.
How to get the right information. So there are resource cards.
Yeah.
Because he just went.
We have the papers, right? You got the papers?
I just have one.
Oh, you only grabbed one.
Wait, did you? And the flyers are in the top.
Yeah, this person was just showing me. Yeah, I'll take, or, oh, is it, yeah? You're good?
There's more.
Oh, okay, awesome. Do you have two more?
Let me get
She, I could ask Natalie. She's just over here, yeah.
Sign it yourself.
Okay, you're gonna do just fine.
I know. Do you have two more of those? Or no?
This is my speech. They've been
Oh, okay.
passed out.
Oh,
I
they've
had
been.
100 and I passed them all out.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, if you need one for yourself, just one.
Flyers are over here.
Awesome. Thank you. That's perfect.
My name is Natalie and I have been vegan for 6 years. I live in Montreal, but I'm from this city. I was born into a house not very far from here, and I was raised very typically. I ate animal products every day, and I enjoyed them for the first 32 years of my life. Never did I imagine that I would be here with you today, a vegan and an animal rights activist, because never could I have imagined the horrors that are going on behind the scenes in the animal agriculture industry. Right at this moment, 6-month-old pigs destined to be bacon are screaming and suffocating in Canadian gas chambers. Right at this moment, innocent baby boy cows are being shot in the head so that their mother's milk can be sold to Canadians. Right at this moment, newborn turkeys are having their toes and their beaks cut off in the name of Canadian Thanksgiving. Right at this moment, beagle puppies are being forced to inhale toxic chemicals in Canadian laboratories. Right at this moment, live horses are being shipped from Canada to Japan, where they will be slaughtered for their flesh after a terrifying 12-hour flight and 30-hour journey. Right at this moment, thousands of baby boy chicks are being ripped to shreds in a giant blender called a macerator. Right at this moment, female chickens are being locked away in factory farm egg cages where they will never know sunlight, or fresh grass, or even enough room to spread their wings. Right at this moment, sows are being locked up in gestation crates that are so small they cannot even turn around. Right at this moment, a bull is having his horns cut off, or a calf is having his horn buds burned off. Right at this moment, mink and chinchilla and fox are going stir crazy in their tiny, filthy cages, all for human vanity, all for a needless fashion statement. Right at this moment, beautiful baby boy goats are being slaughtered, and their sisters and mothers are being enslaved in factories so that their milk can be made into needless soap and cheese. Right at this moment, primates like chimpanzees and macaques are cowering in metal lab cages, scared to death because the human will be back soon, and they don't know what he will do to them next. Right this moment, piglets are having their tails, testicles, and teeth removed from their bodies without anesthetic. Right at this moment, so-called broiler chickens are lying on their backs and starving in a barn with 40,000 of their peers.
It's the same people coming back.
Their legs unable to carry the weight of their genetically modified bodies.
Ils font exprès, là.
Right at this moment, a beautiful male cow has been both punched to the head, but the stunning didn't work this time, and he is now heading to the scalding tank fully conscious. Right at this moment, salmon are overcrowded in filthy water of a fish farm, suffering from infectious diseases and sea lice that chew on them, leaving large open lesions on their skin. Right at this moment, thousands of huskies are tied to short chains, severely neglected, and forced to sleep in plastic barrels because people like the experience of a dog sled. Right at this moment, there is a killer whale named Kiska at Marineland in Niagara Falls who has lived alone in her tank since 2011. She regularly bashes her body against the concrete wall. She is the only captive orca in North America held in social isolation from any other marine animal. I could go on. There are too many abuses to count. The magnitude of these injustices is virtually impossible to absorb or quantify. Right at this moment, all of this is occurring legally in Canada. How is all of this legal? Canada's criminal code supposedly prohibits causing unnecessary pain, suffering, or injury to an animal or bird. Unnecessary pain, suffering, or injury. Since Canadians do not need to consume or use any animals in 2022, doesn't that render all the harm and abuse we are inflicting as unnecessary?
Yes.
What kind of people do Canadians want to be? How many Canadians do you know who actually claim to want to spend their life inflicting violence and abuse on innocent animals? What are Canadian values? I believe that they are anti-violence, anti-oppression, anti-discrimination, pig, dog, what's the difference? And anti-animal abuse. Can our current treatment of animals in this country ever be aligned with those values? Is there anything kind or humane about enslaving and slaughtering billions of innocent sentient beings for products we can all live without? Why does Canadian culture use some animals as family and others as products and property? Why do Canadians currently choose to care for some animals while paying for others to suffer and die? There are a few answers to that last question. The one major one is that we have all been lied to. We have been lied to by the industries, and we have also been lied to by our own government. They told us that slaughter is humane. They lied. They told us that we needed these products to live happy, healthy lives. They lied. They told us that some animals deserve different moral consideration than others. They lied. They told us that the violence and exploitation was all well regulated. They lied, and they lied, and they lied. And they stole from us our better natures. We are here to claim them back. It is time to expect better of ourselves and our society. It is time to rise up and demand the end of animal abuse in this country. Billions of innocent sentient creatures are being tormented, neglected, tortured, abused, brutalized,
for the fifth time,
and slaughtered every single year in this country.
Right somewhere else.
Right at this moment,
this is the fifth time.
100 beautiful souls are gathered in this park together on their behalf.
So make an exception.
We are here for them. We march for them. We speak for them. We petition for them. We are vegan for them. We protest for them. No evil can last forever. And I believe history will smile upon this day when we Canadians march peacefully to our parliament and demanded a better world and a better country for our fellow earthlings, the animals. Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's get ourselves organized. I need the two people with the, whoever wants to hold this white banner over here in the grass, please volunteer to hold that. We'll be needing at least 3 people for that. Someone on either side, someone in the middle, maybe 2 people in the middle. That's going in the front. This red banner, thank you for holding it. We will need more than 2 people for that as well. If someone wants to volunteer to hold this. Everyone's got resource cards and flyers. We're good to go. And march chant.
So we're gonna,
I guess
where do you want to be if we want to hold that other banner?
At the end, probably closing the march.
Okay.
You want to do that?
Okay.
Yeah, we could close the march with that banner. We'll close it.
Bundle blanket is fine.
What do we do?
I can carry
that.
No, we're carrying it. We're closing the march with
Do it
it.
at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna open it
Yeah.
and whatnot?
Yeah.
So you're opening it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Tu veux que je fasse quelque chose avant?
Well, we just need you to hold your sign.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to hold 2 signs. Yeah.
Maybe I don't do this. Or maybe we can find some.
If you don't
Yeah,
have
there's-
cards, you can come and get one here. There are some that have not been claimed.
Vous demandez à quelqu'un s'il veut le dire.
On the way there.
Oh, sorry. Animals are not ours to use, consume, abuse, or eat. Live just, be vegan. I know, we might need someone else in the middle. We might need someone else. The only reason I didn't buy smoke things is because they're super polluting for the environment.
Right now, Lehigh, first our walls. Right now, Lehigh, first our walls.
Canada abuses animals.
Right now, behind egg farm walls.
Canada abuses animals.
Right now, behind pig farm walls.
Canada abuses animals.
Right now, behind chicken farm walls.
Canada abuses animals.
Right now, behind beef farm walls.
Canada abuses animals.
Right now, behind laboratory walls.
Canada abuses animals.
Right now, behind duck farm walls.
Canada abuses animals.
Right now, behind pig farm walls.
Canada abuses animals.
Right now, behind goat farm walls.
Canada abuses animals.
Right now, behind turkey farm walls.
Canada abuses animals.
Right now, behind dry walls.
Canada abuses animals.
Right now, behind farm walls.
Canada abuses animals.
Right now, behind dairy farm walls.
Canada abuses animals.
Right now, behind egg farm walls.
Canada abuses animals.
Right now, behind chicken farm walls.
Canada abuses animals.
Right now, behind beef farm walls.
Canada abuses animals.
Right now, behind laboratory walls.
Canada abuses animals.
Right now, behind duck farm walls.
Canada abuses animals.
Right now, behind fish farm walls.
Canada abuses animals.
Right now, behind goat farm walls.
Canada abuses animals.
Right now, behind turkey farm walls.
Canada abuses animals.
Right now, behind slaughterhouse walls.
Canada abuses animals.
The victims of your personal choice. We're here for them. We are their voice. Victims of your personal choice. We're here for them. We are their voice. Victims of your personal choice. We're here for them. We are their voice. Victims of your personal choice. We're here for them. We are their voice.
We need all of your help. We need all of your help. Canada abuses animals! Canada abuses animals! Canada abuses animals! Canada abuses animals!
Let's go. Wow.
Justice for animals! Justice for animals! Justice for animals! Justice for animals! For animal abuse! For animal abuse! For animal abuse!
Who do Canadians want to be? Save the animals, set them free. Who do Canadians want to be? Save the animals, set them free. All animal abuse should be illegal. All animal abuse should be illegal. All animal abuse
Should be illegal!
All animal abuse
Should be illegal!
Animal abuse
Should be illegal! Should be illegal! Should be illegal! Should be illegal! Where did my mom go? Oh, I see her. We break the silence! And she's chanting.
We break the silence!
We break the silence! We break the silence! Look at that guy with his 2 fuck yous. Look at the guy flipping us the bird. That's how much we trigger people. That's how much we trigger people. You saw that, eh? Double! Just like us! Just like us!
Animals want to live!
Just like us!
Animals have families!
Just like us!
Animals deserve kindness!
Just like us!
Animals deserve freedom!
Just like us!
Animals deserve justice!
Just like us!
Animals deserve rights!
Just like us!
Right now, behind slaughterhouse walls! Right now, behind chicken farm walls!
Canada abuses animals!
Right now, behind fish farm walls!
Canada abuses animals!
Right now, behind dog farm walls!
Canada abuses animals!
I hear you whisper you have nothing left. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue.
Thank you. Well done. And I think that's really good because we get all of this crowd here to see, because they can't really see what's going on over here. So nice.
That was so beautiful and amazing. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so
One. Natalie. Guys,
The what? What happened?
Sister-in-law, he said his sister-in-law is forcing him to go vegan. So she's saving.
She's
She's saving you.
10 years to your life, she's adding.
She's adding a decade to your life. That's love there. That's love right there.
you guys need that right now, but hopefully.
That's the difference. We never see it at first, and then eventually we all go, why didn't we do that sooner? Always.
MFAC is a huge failure on our legal system and its ability to protect animals, because it means that the animal use industry, where some of the worst suffering occurs, is essentially self-regulated and allowed to define for themselves what is or not an acceptable practice. This is problematic for a number of reasons, mostly because there is an inherent conflict of interest where these industries put profit over protection, but also because they lack transparency and independent oversight. Unlike other developed nations, Canada lacks national laws that govern the treatment of animals in farms, labs, zoos, and aquariums. Most animal issues fall to the jurisdiction of provinces and municipalities to govern, which has created a patchwork of inconsistent laws across the country. In essence, an individual can evade these laws simply by moving to another jurisdiction. For example, some provinces have licensing regimes to govern the ownership of exotic animals, yet Ontario does not have any such regime. A whopping 40% of all exotic animals kept in captivity in Ontario are in Canada, kept in Canada or in Ontario. Unsurprisingly, Ontario has also become the roadside zoo capital of the country. This is all likely because its exotic animal laws are so lax. A more recent and disturbing trend in animal law has been the rise of agricultural gag laws, or AGAG laws, across the country. AGAG laws are generally meant to silence whistleblowers and concerned citizens who try to expose animal abuse on farms. AGAG laws make it illegal to perform certain types of activism or enter farms under false pretenses. This is hugely problematic because, with no law setting meaningful standards for animal welfare on farms, whistleblowers and undercover investigators play a vital role in exposing animal cruelty and shaping public opinion and policy around agriculture.
These are ag-gag laws that she's talking about.
Currently, there is some form of ag-gag legislation in Canada in Ontario, Alberta, Manitoba, and PEI, and a federal MP has just recently reintroduced an ag-gag bill into Parliament as well. Canada is failing to protect animals in significant ways, but I do still want to recognize the recent strides that we have made for animals at the federal level since 2019. This includes banning the captivity of whales and dolphins, banning the import of shark fins, and strengthening the criminal code to prohibit forms of sexual abuse against animals and to tighten up the laws against animal fighting. This all happened due to the support of animal advocates like yourselves. Together, we are making an impact. For example, more positive bills are currently tabled in Parliament, including the Jane Goodall Act, which will protect over 800 exotic species.
And a co-defendant of Pig Trial 4. Please welcome Jenny.
Thank you, Natalie. Thank you. I've spent so much time with pigs, both inside these awful factories that masquerade as farms and at sanctuaries. I've cared for them, giving one-on-one care. They love peanut butter, they love apples, they love belly rubs.
Yes.
They're as intelligent as dogs. Pigs play. They nurture, they feel pain just like us. The public sees pigs as flesh in a package or on a barbecue. They crave their crispy skin and flesh. I used to eat them too before I knew better. I've been vegan now for over 25 years. I've rescued dozens of pigs. Back in 2017, my first experience of a so-called family farm was such a shock. It was a dare pork near London, Ontario. We took 6 gorgeous little piglets to safety. I reported the massive prolapse I witnessed on a mother pig. She was lying in her own spattered blood, miserable and pregnant. It's obvious they were keeping her that way until she gave birth. What was the result of my report to the authorities? A police raid on my house in the dark. While the police and the industry wanted to put me in jail, the judge and the authorities then decided that the charges were ludicrous and dropped them. Rescuing piglets is such an incredible experience. You cradle them in your arms to rescue them. You see them thrive and grow. And now, they're huge! Their personalities are huge too, as is their vocabulary. Gentle grunts, contented grunts, loud screams if you're trying to medicate. The government in Quebec announced the sentience of animals in 2015. Animals like pigs were excluded. This is outrageous! The legal system thinks it's okay to let the industry regulate itself. Check with animal justice. They'll tell you there's no law governing the welfare of arms inside these factories that pretend to be farms. In 2020, Animal Justice also had undercover operatives film at Paragon Farms in Putnam, Ontario. They filmed workers viciously beating pigs and a pregnant injured pig shot to death before workers sliced her open to remove her piglets from the womb. This is known as slash and grab by the industry. What's the reaction from politicians? They want to introduce a federal ag-gag bill. Please, meet with your MP and demand they speak against Bill C-275. Animal Justice has the bullet points that you need. Tell the politicians, tell your friends and family to visit a sanctuary where pigs live. Tell them to follow Esther the Wonder Pig. Industry created the Farm Animal Care Council with shiny brochures and confident sounding advice. I phoned them one time to tell them that their regulations were being broken. Were they interested? Nope. They seem only to care about making money. The Pork Council here in Ottawa thinks it's okay to offer children's colouring books which show pigs enjoying life in green fields with kids playing nearby. This is outrageous!
It's a lie. It's all a lie.
11 of us were recently found guilty of illegally entering Portrag, another hellish pig factory. The judge described our footage as disturbing, powerful, moving, but he had to follow the rule of law. In December, we'll be sentenced. The family who kept the pigs in hell don't get any criminal charges. Previously, they even had the audacity to go and present at schools, having their picture taken in front of a classroom full of innocent kids. What was Portrag like? It was a nightmare. I have flashbacks all the time. Mother pigs were confined in gestation crates where they can't turn around, where they had to lick their food off a filthy floor. I saw one miserable pig being bullied by her neighbour. There was no escaping the harassment, the stench, the assault of the screaming in their ears. In 2014, the pig industry proudly announced they'd ban gestation crates by 2024. They lied. The new date is 2029. But even that is a lie. Existing operations are being grandfathered and will keep these contraptions of torture. This is outrageous!
What's the name of your song?
You want to do Liberation and Speed? Oh, the first one? I think I'll do Speed.
The older piglets at Portrag were being held in dungeon-like areas. I heard pigs coughing. I saw maggots, thick cobwebs everywhere. The next pandemic. I so wish the police that arrested us had got to see that area too. The feces and urine created a wet sludge where the food was thrown on top. The pigs' sad pink eyes looked up at me as I nuzzled their snouts with my gloved hand. I gave them what little comfort I could. I was the last one to leave Portrag. I didn't know how I'd react.
Oh, sorry, I'm just bringing it down so that... I don't think you even have to hold it if it's down like that, yeah. Awesome.
By 4 police officers. I was screaming, "It's not food! attitude.
It's violence!
Their lives. Not ours. Their bodies.
Not ours!
Their babies.
Not ours!
Thank you.
Are getting closer, very close. Kavish and Andre, where are you?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be now.
Where's Kavish? Can we see Kavish?
Kavish,
Je vais faire mon speech, puis après je vais chanter.
Larissa's gonna text you, or text her. They're gonna be closer than before, just so you know.
So
and she's gonna be there sooner, so text her. Okay.
I'm just gonna need you to walk.
Are you guys doing okay? Do you want to swap
So
out?
c'est juste que
Can I
je
get somebody
commence,
to
it's
swap
already,
out
it's
with the
already
people in the
going.
banner, give them a break?
Okay.
Thank you so much.
I just keep there. Yeah.
If anybody wants to hold the little banner as well, if you want something to do, please feel free and come and hold it up next to them. No pressure.
This one over here too, Natalie.
There's one over here too. If anybody's willing to swap out on the banner, thank you so much. Please give these people a break. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our first performer today is Michelle Labrosse. Michelle is also from Toronto and went plant-based after a 2012 diagnosis of multiple sclerosis.
Is that
She's
still
now an
working?
animal rights activist, a personal trainer, a holistic nutritionist, and a mindset coach. She will be singing Speak Out for us, and then she will be speaking on behalf, what did I say speaking? She'll be singing Speak Out for us, and then she'll be speaking on behalf of cows in the dairy and beef industries. Please welcome Michelle.
All right, I felt like this song was appropriate to start with, since I'll be speaking after, and the title is Speak Out, by Jason Oliver. He's really, really good. I actually shared the lyrics in the Canada Abuses Animals page, so if any of you want to sing along with me, please be my guest. I would love that. I wrote down the lyrics because I get really nervous and sometimes I forget words. So it's here as a backup, alright? I know the song by heart, it's a little backup. It burns in my heart, it burns in my heart to see them misery. It burns in my heart, it burns in my heart to see them suffering. Oh my God, see, I already messed it up.
Replay.
Myself in that moment. I was like, beautiful voice. And I need to look at the lyrics. All right. Let me start over. It burns in my heart, it burns in my heart to see them suffering. It burns in my heart, it burns in my heart to hear them in misery. I cannot be silent amongst these symbols of violence. No, I will not stay silent around all this violence. I will speak out loudly, speak out proudly. I will speak out loudly, speak out proudly. I will speak out even though my voice shakes. Speak out even though I'm afraid. Speak out boldly until everyone is free. Free, 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 free. It burns in my soul, it burns in my soul to see them suffering. It burns in my soul, it burns in my soul to hear them in misery. I cannot be silent amongst these symbols of violence. No, I will not stay silent amongst all this violence. I will loudly, speak out, proudly I will speak out, even though my voice shakes, speak out, even though I'm afraid, speak out, boldly until everyone is free, 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 free. Silence is complicit to the violence that we witness. Our silence is complicit to the violence that we witness. Our silence is complicit to the violence that we witness. Our silence is complicit, and it's time that we end this. We must speak out loudly, speak out proudly. We must speak out loudly, speak out proudly. We must speak out even though our voice shakes. Speak out even though we're afraid. Speak out boldly until everyone is free. Oh my God, you! I made it. No, but honestly, there is so much heaviness in this song because I think it's so important, and that's why we're all here. We're all here to speak out for those that need us to speak out for them, right? Because they can be heard, they can scream, they can cry, but we can't, we're trying to silence them. And we're the only ones that could stand up for them. So this song really, really resonates, and I hope it resonated with you too. So here is my speech on the dairy and beef industry. The more I think about my relationship with dairy as I was growing up, the more I feel disgusted with myself. I used to consume so much milk, cheese, and yogurt without even thinking about where it came from. I even used to joke about the fact that I consumed more dairy than the average baby cow, without realizing it was the actual truth. Dairy, I feel, is one of the cruelest industries out there. That's why I always say that vegetarians are simply vegans waiting to happen. Because if they knew the whole vicious circle behind dairy, they wouldn't make that exception. Most vegetarians I meet are doing it for ethical reasons. They already understand how horrible the beef industry is and choose to stop. Why? Because cows are intelligent beings. They develop close friendships, and like us, they even hold grudges against other cows who treat them badly. They also mourn the ones they love. Millions of cows around the world suffer and are killed for the meat, dairy, and leather industries. The same industries that are also subsidized and that are killing our planet and destroying our health. Let's have a look at the behind the scenes with dairy first. Who comes first, the calf or the cow? Whatever your answer is, if they're female, either will be enslaved for the rest of their entire short lives. Dairy cows are exploited for the 5 to 7 years that they're given before being discarded because they're then deemed useless. They send her off to slaughter in a truck where she will be transported in fear without food or water, regardless if it's in blistering cold temperatures or in unbearable heat, for humans to then use her body parts for companion food because she isn't fresh enough to be killed for human consumption. I don't know about you, but when I think of fresh, I think of fruits being harvested from the tree or vegetables being harvested from the ground, not the flesh of dead animals that fought for their right to live. These beautiful beings could live up to 25 years when they're being properly taken care of in a sanctuary or a rescue. If she is born a female calf, she will be artificially inseminated year after year and have her babies taken from her repeatedly. I don't know if you've ever witnessed a cow crying for her stolen child, or even to try to run after them as the farmer takes them away. I have. It's devastating. No mother deserves this ever. We tear families apart for products that we don't even need anymore, knowing it's even inflammatory for us. If he is born as a male calf, he'll be separated from his mother almost right away like the female, and then will be killed as a baby to become what we call veal. If slaughterhouses had glass windows, everyone would be vegan. We are, for the most part, compassionate beings. We're just not reinforced to be as we grow up. I have witnessed babies like that heading to slaughter. They're just like cute little puppies, wanting to interact, play, and lick. They want to live just like us. Why love one but kill the other? For the cow to be impregnated, she needs to be inseminated with bull semen. Guess what else we do to those poor cows? Some chosen male ones are specifically used as semen machines. Humans literally jerk them off to collect their sperm. And then they use what they call in the industry a rape rack to artificially inseminate the female cow who's trapped, to then steal her babies with whatever fate they have in human hands once they're born, depending on their gender. And if you don't believe me, have a look for yourself. Watch Dairy is Scary, and you'll see the graphics associated to what I just explained in under 5 minutes. Make sure you never contribute to this cruelty again. It's much easier than you believe. Okay, let's have a look at my beef with the beef industry. The suffering starts just as early for the baby cows in the beef industry as the dairy industry. Cows are being used, abused, and exploited in both industries, just differently. Different breeds, but same species. Same, but different. They're all treated as commodities for profit. The dairy cow we spoke about previously is being used for her milk, meant for her babies. Beef cows are being used for their meat. And of course, the dairy and beef industries tie into one another when we think about what happens to the remains of the cows once she's been killed, to her poor skin, leather. The leather industry is a whole other ballgame. Let this sink in for a second. Cows don't want to end up as a steak on your plate, as a glass of milk or a latte, cheese, or a pair of shoes on your feet. They deserve so much better than being treated as such. They start tormenting them so young. Farmers mark the babies to identify them by pressing hot irons into their flesh, usually causing third-degree burns, and pushing them to attempt to escape their restraints and pain. Most of them receive inadequate veterinarian care and die from infection or injury as a result. And if they've managed to survive until 1 or 2 years old, they're shipped, sometimes miles away, to feces and mud-filled holding pens where they're crammed together by the thousands. This is where they keep them to fatten them up for slaughter. Cows on feedlots suffer from constant stress, physical pain, and serious medical conditions. Raising thousands of cows crammed together disrupts their hierarchy. Because like most pack animals, cows choose alpha leaders who have good social skills, who are intelligent, inquisitive, and confident. Now, to fatten them up quickly to make money faster, they feed them an unnatural diet of grain and corn, which causes them to bloat and suffer from acute stomach conditions that are painful. They're also always standing in their own excrements, forcing them to inhale methane and ammonia, which in turn causes respiratory issues. Because of this, they're fed so many antibiotics to be able to survive in these horrible conditions. Humans are prescribed some of those same antibiotics, including penicillin and tetracycline. And since humans are also constantly exposed to antibiotics through their own prescriptions, or by consuming meat, dairy, and eggs by the animals that were forced to use the same drugs, they start developing antibiotic-resistant bacteria. The Center of Disease Control and Prevention informs us that 2 million people contract antibiotic resistance infections and 23,000 die yearly. That's nothing in comparison to the millions of cows killed yearly for our taste buds and brainwashed realities. Always follow the money. And don't try to make yourself feel better because of the whole greenwashing around grass-fed and organic marketing terms. They all experience the same mutilations, such as dehorning and castration without pain relief. Most of these cows also spend most of their times crammed in mud and feces-filled spaces, like the conventional industrial cows I just explained. None of these cows want to die, no matter how they were raised. And and none of them need to. We live in a day and age where we know that the excess of animal consumption even makes us sick. All the methane I was talking about earlier that they must inhale and causes them respiratory issues also wreaks havoc on our environment. Where does all this waste go? I had to research this specific beef industry to refresh my memory because it's been out of my life for so long. Getting rid of dairy and eating cows was my first step, and stopping to eat cows was my first step towards veganism. I removed dairy first because I found a huge correlation between the molecular structure of dairy and what's covering our central nervous system, the myelin sheath. I'd been diagnosed with MS in 2012, so I was forced to do research unless I wanted to be on medication forever. I initially started reducing my animal consumption for health, but the more I discovered, the more I realized we were being lied to in every way. So shortly after, MS became a blessing in disguise that led me to be vegan. The internet gives us access to so much information now. When others realize I'm vegan, they feel the need to tell me what animals they're still eating, if any, and I'm sure most of you can relate. Most people seem to be proud that they stopped eating red meat, which are cows. They've seen the horror and chose not to contribute to the pain and suffering of these beautiful beings. And I'm proud of them too, because the conditioning is real. But of course, now beef consumption and dairy have gone down, but chicken consumption has gone up even more. And Julie will be talking about this industry after. We're all born vegan, but we were taught differently as we were raised. I'm so grateful I found it in my heart to stop eating all animals. I'm now living a life in alignment with my core values, and I've never felt stronger, better, and happier. I wish this for you too. Please inform and educate yourself and choose to be a part of the solution, not the problem. Look at Challenge 22 if you haven't already. Please leave animals off your plate, off your body, and let them live free and in harmony. May all beings be happy.
Awesome. All right, we're going to take a little break now from speeches. Because
Là,
the food
j'ai
is almost
j'ai
here.
pas
Here,
touché
almost
rien,
there.
mais ça revenait pareil, mais c'était
Right over
dark.
there somewhere coming up.
Ok, phew. J'ai eu peur quand ça
Right
m'a
there, okay. So we're going to do some
Oh, we got the food.
Also, there's another group here that has a permit. They're going to speak for about 5 minutes, doing their thing. So we're going to give them a little airtime, and then we'll be back. Thanks, guys.
Oh my god. That was so stressful. J'ai même regardé.
6 years of my life, I ate probably hundreds of fishes. I went to Maryland and had an aquarium at my house. I am not here in front of you because I am better than others, but because I woke up. Today I speak for Kiska. For her first 2 years, Kiska knew life as a wild orca, traveling across Iceland with her family. In 1978, wild hunters kidnapped her in the entertainment industry. She has been held in Marineland ever since. 43 years in a tank. Since 2011, Kiska has lived alone in her concrete tank. No family members or friends by her side. She's the only orca in North America held in social isolation from any other marine mammal. Today I speak for the 30 million fishes captured every year in the ocean and the 200 million fishes raised on farms to become decorative objects in aquariums. Today I speak on behalf of the 2.7 trillion fishes who die every year for food. Not so long ago, I realized how fishes really need us. Someone said to me,
Thank you so much. Maybe you want to have a look at some of the information here?
We're a family, so.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, here, hold. Thank you. We don't want to waste.
marine animals are amazing beings when we take time to learn about them.
and sensitive. They recognize individuals, use tools, and have complex social relationships. This week, the UN declared that we face emotional emergency. We have no time to wait. If you are in a position to rethink and change your lifestyle to benefit animals, nature, humanity, well, you must do it. You must act now.
Thank you.
L'ONU a déclaré que les événements sont en état d'urgence. Nous n'avons pas de temps à perdre. Si vous êtes en mesure de repenser, de changer votre mode de vie pour aider les animaux, la nature, l'humanité, c'est la moindre des choses de faire quelque chose. Nous devons agir maintenant. Les animaux marins ont besoin de nous maintenant.
I have no more
En
flyers.
terminant, soyez fiers d'être vegan. Inspirez les gens autour de vous en montrant que c'est facile, le fun et merveilleux de manger végétal. Utilisez vos talents, vos compétences pour faire la différence parce que c'est la moindre des choses d'aider les plus vulnérables. Be proud to be a compassionate vegan. Inspire people by showing how easy, fun, amazing it is to eat food. Use your skills,
Oh, you have one already.
your work, your talent to make a difference. Because it's the least we should do for animals. Thank you
Ah,
very much.
yes.
Give it up for Elizabeth. Thank you so much.
Woo!
Awesome. So our next speaker today is Nat Perron, and he's going to, they are going to be speaking on, I have it in French here, so I'm translating,
J'ai dit, that's what she's going to ask right now. I've already told her. She's going to ask now, after she introduced.
I'm trying to translate, I'm reading in French. Sorry. And they have been vegan for 6 years. Nat also represents the youth of the Green Party of Canada.
Where's Eddie and Ina and all? We have to go hold the banner.
We've been meeting off like 2 months.
It's been the longest time, bro. Where are you at? It's good, eh? Did you enjoy the ride? Aw, thank you. I love how I fucked it up. My worst nightmare came true.
It's okay, you pulled it off quite well.
But it made everyone laugh, so that's good. I'm happy about that. Do you want to come hold the banner with me?
Which one?
The red one. Let's go do it. Come hold the banner with us.
Rendre visible ce qui nous est invisible nous a permis de prendre de meilleures décisions et de nous faire évoluer. Dans une société où tout est si facilement caché, il vient malheureusement de la responsabilité citoyenne d'exposer les injustices. Grâce à des âmes courageuses, nous avons pu exposer des industries sans merci, sans notion de compassion ou de dignité. Aujourd'hui, j'ai l'immense privilège d'utiliser ce qu'il reste de ma voix pour briser 4 murs où la souffrance animale répond présente. L'industrie des œufs. Comme toutes les industries de produits animaliers, la souffrance commence dès le jour 1. À l'éclosion, le sexe du nouveau-né détermine sa fatalité. Les poussins mâles sont broyés vivants, car ils sont considérés comme des déchets de l'industrie. Les femelles sont vendues comme de la simple marchandise à des maisons d'horreur où elles seront confinées dans des cages pas plus grandes qu'une feuille 8 et 1 quart par 11 et 3 quarts. Elle y passera toute sa vie là, avec 2 ou 3 autres poules. Cet espace ne lui permet pas de marcher, voler, d'étirer ses ailes ou de se tenir debout de façon confortable. Elle y passera ses jours et ses nuits. Les poules ont un instinct naturel de picosser le sol et d'utiliser leur bec pour explorer. La seule chose qu'elles ont à picosser dans ces conditions, c'est leur voisine. L'ennui et le stress leur font développer des comportements agressifs. La solution que l'industrie a trouvée, c'est de couper leur bec au 1/3 avec une lame ou le brûler. L'industrie se déresponsabilise en se disant que c'est une procédure sans douleur. Mais cette lame coupe à travers des vaisseaux sanguins et des nerfs. Cette procédure leur fait adopter des comportements comme des vomissements et un jeûne pendant plusieurs jours, en plus de causer potentiellement des difficultés à long terme pour se nourrir et se nettoyer. Les poules pondent généralement 12 œufs par année. L'industrie leur en fait pondre 300 à cause des manipulations génétiques. Le fait de pondre autant d'œufs cause des dommages internes qui peuvent saigner. Le sang qui coule est nettoyé avant la vente des œufs. Ces os se détériorent et cassent puisque le calcium est redirigé dans les coquilles des œufs. Après 1 an, la poule produira moins d'œufs et sera jeûnée pendant 2 semaines pour forcer son système à produire plus. C'est 2 ans plus tard que sa production d'œufs diminuera encore et ce sera son point d'épuisement total. Le corps de ces poules est trop brisé pour être consommé. Elle finira suspendue par les pieds et noyée dans un bassin d'eau ou électrocutée. Les poules dites en liberté sont entassées dans des hangars où elles ont, dans la meilleure des situations, à peine de place pour se promener et étirer leurs ailes. Les problèmes liés au surpoids et à la pente d'œufs amplifiés demeurent présents. Pour arrêter cette machine à tuer, il faut qu'on fasse collectivement, il faut qu'on agisse collectivement en se dirigeant vers une alimentation qui réduit autant que praticable la cruauté animale. Choisissons la compassion, choisissons l'amour, choisissons le véganisme. Merci beaucoup.
Get it up for Nats. Thank you so much. Woo! Awesome. So we are in for, are you guys hot? Are you okay? I'm so sorry. If you're a little hot, grab a sign, use it as a shield, whatever you need. So we are up for a treat now. We have Simon Riendo. And Simon is a professional musician from Montreal. Simon has also been vegan for less than 1 year, and look at him, he's just such an activist, it's wonderful. He is a singer, performer, multi-instrumentalist, and he is currently studying artistic practice in pop voice at UQAM in Montreal.
Damn.
He will be singing a rendition of John Lennon's Imagine that I rewrote for the animal rights movement. So it's John Lennon's Imagine, but with new lyrics. So please welcome Simon.
Woo! Turn up. Never mind.
Hello everyone. Okay, alright. Hey, first, let's give up a great round of applause for Natalie, who rewrote the lyrics of Imagine. The command was great, and you'll see the lyrics are incredible. I would invite everybody here, vegan and non-vegan, because we all want to abolish animal cruelty, to sing the chorus with me, with us. Imagine they're all free. It isn't hard to do. Imagine they're all free. Above them only sky. Imagine all animals living life in peace. Imagine there's no killing. It isn't hard to do. No slaughterhouses, no exploitation too. Animal liberation for a better world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one. Animals are not possessions. They are not products too. Greed is how we got here. Justice starts with you. Animal liberation, justice, peace, and love. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one. Come on, sing it with me. You may say I'm a dreamer, that's it, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one. Thank you.
Yeah. Good work.
Wow. Oh my God. Simo, you're so good. I'd never heard him sing before. Thank you so much. Give it up again, please, for Simo. Wow. That was so good. I'm speechless. Thanks, Brenda. Our next speaker today is Julie Brar. Julie Brar, she will be speaking on behalf of chickens in the meat industry. Julie is a passionate holistic nutrition, health coach, and animal rights activist, originally from Winnipeg and now hailing from Toronto. Julie, everybody welcome Julie. Woo!
Hello. Thank you for organizing this. And we are blessed with such a beautiful day to be here.
Yeah.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
A little bit louder?
Yeah,
Okay.
a little bit louder.
So my vegan journey began because I went off to do a yoga teacher training. And does anyone know the first precept of yoga?
Ahimsa.
Ahimsa, nonviolence. Nonviolence in thought, deed, and action. And that got me thinking about all the ways that I contribute to violence on this planet. I started thinking about the animals that I was putting in my body. Where did they come from? Some of them I didn't even know what being they came from because, you know, pork, pigs, right? They have all these ways to dress things up, right? They're well-dressed lies. And one of the biggest lies is the protein lie. So as people stop eating red meat, as they stop consuming dairy cows, they start thinking, well, I'm going to have chicken because that's the better meat, right? Is that right?
Yeah. Right.
But it's wrong. I can tell you from a holistic nutrition standpoint. Let's talk about protein utilization. The protein utilization from a chicken breast is 32%. A measly 32%. From spirulina, it's 70%. 70%. What do you think is better for your body? Green spirulina or a dead chicken? Exactly, the power of plants to heal. So in Canada, as of 2021, there were roughly 2,823 chicken producers. These are places that are funded through our federal government and our tax subsidies to the very industries that are contributing to obesity, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, cancer. It's bullshit. Well-dressed lies. The protein lie. The lie that this government continues to push onto Canadians that farmers who are in animal agriculture are helping your fellow Canadians. They aren't. They are slowly killing them one meal at a time. It is despicable, it is deceitful, it is dishonest, and it's about time that it be abolished. If we're going to talk about tax subsidies, let's shift those tax subsidies over to organic veggies and fruits. Woo! How about we do that? But let's talk about the animals, right? Let's talk about the chickens. The chickens that are in these sheds. I'm 5 minutes from farm country where I am, just outside of Toronto. And I go by those buildings and I know what they are. Dark, dank, disgusting, smelly, with literally thousands of chickens that will never see the light of day, except when they're loaded up onto a slaughterhouse truck, hurtling down the 401 to who knows what fate. well, we know where they go, right? Because we have enough guts to see the truth. They're in these plastic crates, 10 at a time, where they cannot stand up straight, they cannot spread their wings, they've never felt the grass on their feet. They've never had that experience. And you know what the experience is walking up to one of those trucks? Because I've been borne witness outside of Maple Leaf plenty of times. They smell. You know what I've seen with my eyes? Birds missing feathers, open lesions. Some of them are just 6 weeks old. Imagine at 6 weeks of age being killed. Imagine being brought into the world solely to be mutilated, violated, and murdered. Let's call it what it is. It's murder. And all for the well-dressed lie of protein. 32% plus the saturated fat and the cholesterol. Chicken is not health food. It's not a replacement for beef. It's a living animal that never got to experience the joy of life. Chickens are intelligent creatures. They have the ability to create relationships and bonds. They have the right to their freedom. They have a right to not be exploited. Just like any of us, we want to be free. Why is it okay just because the government is pushing it? It's up to all of us to continue to share the message on behalf of all the animals, to continue to educate the public, to continue to share about the documentaries that are out there, because here's the truth of the internet age. The truth can spread. We have the ability to share it far and wide. And remember, every time you have the opportunity to show up at an event like this, to stand with your fellow activists, you also have the ability to amplify the voice of all those animals that are in those sheds, that are on those trucks, that are on those kill floors. You are their voice. They need each and every one of us to stand tall, to stand proud, and to share the truth. Last year, I met with my MP from Parliament. You know what he told me? He knows the food system is messed up. But there is no political will on Parliament Hill to change it. So it is up to the Canadians, it's up to us that know the truth, to share the truth far and wide. Because politicians will not do anything unless we force them to. This has to be a ground roots movement. Woo! Yeah. This has to be from the ground up, because those who are in the walls of privilege and power are only caring about money and profits. And make no, the lobby groups for the dairy and the meat industries are very, very strong. And those dollars are definitely lining the pockets of the politicians. So we have a moral duty, a moral imperative to continue to share the truth anywhere, everywhere.
And keep them buzzed so they don't have to think about their miserable lives. The only crime that Kiska or any animal kept prisoner to entertain humans has committed was being born in the wrong species. Sorry, Kiska, better luck next time. Should have been born a dog, or a cat, or a human. This has been one example of how unscrupulous companies enslave and harm non-human persons to make profit off of them. I could talk about rodeo because, after all, it's rodeo season. Seeing these defenseless calves and young bulls getting violently tackled to the ground and used to reassure insecure males about their masculinity is frankly disheartening. And there are still people telling me that this is not harmful to the animals, that's just a bit of stress and to let people have their fun, even though veterinarians have told us for many years now that it's very harmful to the animals. So is a calf stare worth a nice day at the rodeo, Brenda? Is it? With great power comes great responsibility, and time has come for Canadians to take their responsibility to not support animal abuse. If you wouldn't do it to a child, don't do it to non-humans. Would you lasso a 4-year-old at full speed and tackle them to the ground violently while they are thrashing, terrified? No? Then you've got your answer. Rodeos, zoos, corridas, aquariums, marine parks, circuses, these animals should all be banned. Non-human persons have a right to live free from mental distress, to dispose of their body freely, and to not be kept prisoner and have humans dictate what they do and how they do it. They do not
have a look at what you're here for.
I love cheeseburger.
Oh, that was a really fucked up response on your part. I hope you sleep well tonight on that.
To make as many barrel turns as can at the risk of them dying. They do not deserve to be doped or poked so you can bank on how fast they run. They do not deserve to be showed like pretty possessions and judged as objects. And they do not deserve to be kept in tanks for decades without any stimulation. This is outrageous. It is a crime to commit such actions, and Canada should be ashamed of itself to support this abuse. Let us put ourselves into their positions for once, and let us set them free from human tyranny. Thank you.
Woo! Would you like to have a look at what we're here for? Thank you. Don't kill me.
Thank you so much, Julianne. Next up.
So close to home, and I began protesting alongside other amazing, dedicated animal rights activists and heartbroken animal lovers. I then learned that Canada is one of the top 5 cruelest countries in the world when it comes to animal testing. Over 5 million animals suffer every year in Canada with tests on cosmetics, drugs, household products, and pesticides. The kinds of animals that are used in animal testing are fish, cats, dogs, birds, guinea pigs, mice, monkeys, sheep, cattle, horses, beavers, hamsters, pigs, rabbits, and rats. Over 1 million of these animals are subjected to level D invasive experiments which cause moderate to severe distress or discomfort. Over 100,000 of these animals are subjected to level E invasive experiments, which are procedures that cause severe pain near or above the pain tolerance threshold of conscious animals without any anesthesia. And actually, this is new, I learned this, in 2019, these level E invasive experiments that cause the most severe pain have actually increased by 40% for regulatory testing studies. Isn't that disgusting? So it's estimated that every 7 seconds, an animal is subjected to testing. Every 7 seconds in Canada. So it's pretty clear that Canada has no intention of slowing down the amount of animals we abuse, but instead it has increased exponentially over the past 3 years. You know, and even despite the fact that the failure rate of these preclinical in vivo animal testing trials is now reaching 96% failure rate. And, you know, we have humane alternatives, in vitro cell culture, in silico computer simulation modeling, etc. You know, animal testing is a huge industry in Canada, and it's speculated that our country spends over $8 trillion every year on torturing innocent animals.
Wow.
Shame! Canada. So while other countries around the world have banned animal testing for cosmetics or are actively taking steps towards phasing it out, Canada has done no such thing. In 2016, Bill C-246, Modernizing Animal Protections Act, was dismissed at a second reading in the House of Commons. Justin Trudeau was one of the 117 Liberal MPs who voted against the bill. Boo! Boo! Yeah, boo!
What a joke for a Prime Minister who got in this country. A bunch of sheep in this country.
Yes!
Yeah.
Woo!
He's dying for our rights.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree with this guy. And in 2019, Bill S-214, which was an amendment to the Food and Drugs Act to ban animal testing and the sale of cosmetics tested on animals, was also rejected on the first reading in the House of Commons. So, Canada is actually the only G8 country without federal government inspectors with the power to enforce rules governing animal treatment in testing and research labs. So there's basically little to no regulatory oversight to protect the millions of animals that are suffering inside of Canadian labs right now. The CCAC, Canadian Council for Animal Care, receives the majority of the funding from the Canadian government by raising awareness about the horrific cruelty, keep fighting for these harmless animals that endure so much suffering, keep pressuring our local MPs, family and friends to make ethical choices, and keep voting for parliamentary petitions to abolish animal abuse in Canada. It's time to end the injustice!
Okay, I'm gonna get you to hold it. You gonna go there?
Thank you so much. Give it up for Marla again. Woo! Sorry guys, I was distracted. I'm embarrassing. That's my little sister right there, Victoria. Let me say hi, Victoria. Hi, Victoria. All right. So we are ready for Michelle, yes? All right. Michelle's going to be singing Animal Liberation. Give it up for Michelle.
All right, I hope everyone had the time to pull it out and, Canada abuses animals. I put the lyrics there, and I think some of you are familiar with this song. I chose this song specifically for this event today, so I'm going to do my best. I'm in pain, living in misery. Won't you do something about it? Please do something about it. You say I'm different, so you treat me lesser than, but you are so wrong about me. Yes, you are so wrong about me, because I'm like you. I feel pain, love too. I'm you but in a different body, yet there's still life inside my body. Let me be free, freedom from your tyranny. It's all I've ever wanted, it's all I've ever wanted. Liberation for justice to my life, love. Bring justice to the lives lost. Because every day they will try to convince you that humane murder is justified. But believe me, I don't want to die. But I'm at your mercy, and you are the difference
Be the voices of the silence, and the silence stop the violence, and organize, mobilize, speak up for the defenseless. Without you we're defenseless. Liberation for the animals. Liberation, because we are all animals. We're all animals. Fear is what drives harmful behavior. Let love guide us towards justice, because I want to be happy, safe and free, just to be happy, safe every day. 'Cause liberation for the animals. Liberation, because we are all animals. We're all animals.
Woo!
Liberation for all. Woo! We're all animals. Give it up for Michelle. Yes. We only have one more speech today, guys. Jade Boss was supposed to be here today to speak on behalf of animals in the fur industry.
Merci.
She could not be here today.
Je pense que c'est comme la troisième fois que je pratiquais la chanson.
Who knows a lot about what's going on in the fur industry for
La
animals.
fin, j'ai fucké, mais
Very well
il n'y a pas personne vraiment qui chantait.
Very knowledgeable and very eloquent activist. We're very lucky to have him here today.
Toi
Please
aussi,
give
j'ai
it
aimé
up
ton
for
speech.
Glenn Goldberg.
J'étais comme, yes, I understand everything.
Ouais, ben, je tenais dans le talent français, là.
Ouais, ben oui, tu le fais dans ta langue, mais puis on est à Ottawa, tu sais.
Ouais, c'est ça.
Ouais.
Thank you very much. That's very kind. Can you hear this? It's okay? All right. You know, actually, the history of animal abuse in Canada began with the fur industry, which Canada founded just over 400 years ago. The first animals ever to be mass tortured and mass murdered in Canada were beaver, beginning over 400 years ago in this general area, using the Ottawa River as one of the main arteries to transport pelts from the interior to the ships that would take those pelts to Europe to make what? Anybody know what those beaver pelts were used for? Hats.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
it. Hats. Felt hats. A status symbol. And thus was born animal abuse in Canada. Trapping of beaver. Leg hold traps that crush their limbs. Conibear traps that crush their bodies, drown them in water. Snare traps that eat through their limbs, through their flesh to their bone. A slow death of unimaginable pain. And their eventual death either in the trap or at the hands of a trapper blowing their brains out or stomping on them or breaking their neck or back. And for what? A hat, a status symbol and nothing more. And that's the fur industry, status and nothing more for over 400 years.
Wow.
Millions of animals have been tortured and murdered in traps, and beginning in the late 19th century in fur farms in Canada. Do the math, 400 times millions and millions every year. Hundreds of millions, if not exceeding a billion. Beaver, mink, foxes, rabbits, wolves, and of course coyotes, and so many other animals slaughtered. Thanks to you people, literally. Thanks to your determination and your relentless protesting, people have found out, primarily through social media, that Canada isn't so nice after all. Canada doesn't deserve its reputation globally as a polite, kind, genteel nation. Not at all. And companies embarrassed and humiliated by your work and your protests and your social media that exposed Canada Goose and Simons and Ralph Lauren and Michael Kors and all of these other designers and stores that have gone for free. It's thanks to your work embarrassing them. But still, there are coyotes roaming around right now who would have been crushed to death or snared to death in leg hold traps for Canada Goose and other fur trim jackets, but they're free now because of your work and your persistence. You won, and you saved millions of animals.
Yeah!
But still to this day, right now, hundreds of thousands of animals are languishing on fur farms in disgusting wire cages stacked on top of one another, shitting and pissing on one another, into their food, on their bodies, like any factory farm, being yanked out, anally or vaginally electrocuted, gassed to death. It's happening right now. Animals are still being trapped. Leg hold traps, cone bear traps, snare traps, screaming in agony, begging for mercy. For what? For status. A bit of trim, a full fur coat for the few people who are still living in the 1970s and think they can get away with wearing a full fur coat without being approached by folks like you and myself. I have worked on fur since actually I was a kid. In the early 70s, I started approaching people in Ottawa. I started approaching them. I started working formally on it 30 years ago in Ottawa. The reason I focused on fur, and I encourage everybody to fight this vile, sickening industry, is that you can achieve victories relatively very easily on fur. Because people can't justify wearing animals as status. They can come up with some kind of fake reasons to eat animals or to test on them, which we know are fake, but they put up an argument. But when it comes to fur, nobody can argue that it's wrong to kill others for status, and it's wrong to kill animals ever. So I fight on fur because you can achieve victories, and that empowers you. It empowers the animal rights movement when you achieve those victories against Canada Goose and all these other designers and companies. You empower yourself, you become stronger, you become people and organizations of influence who can advocate better for animals in all the spheres of Canada's abuse of animals in agriculture, laboratories, entertainment, animals in the water, in the lakes, rivers, and oceans. So it's a very strategic campaign to do. It's anti-fur activism. It will help you. It will help you advocate and defend all these other billions of animals right now who are screaming in buildings with no windows, begging for mercy, wanting to know, why are you doing this to me? You don't need to torture or abuse me.
You guys just want to grab have a look at what we're doing and stuff, right?
I want to thank everyone here for your persistence, standing outside those stores, being loud.
I guess you have to remain biased or unbiased.
Yeah, I don't talk about this.
Oh, no, I was just going to give you a card.
Actually, we can get those around on Parliament Hill.
Oh, what do you mean? What? I can't do that?
Non,
j'ai pas le droit de les donner?
Non, pas
Pour
sur
donner
la
l'information
colline.
aux gens, c'est qu'est-ce qu'on fait?
Vous pouvez aller dans la rue.
Ah, c'est ça que je fais. Mais ça, c'est sur la rue?
Non, c'est la colline parlementaire qui a ses propres règles. C'est pour toutes les causes.
Fait qu'ici, j'ai le droit, genre.
Passer la barrière.
Oh my god, en tout cas, il n'y a personne qui va dire rien là parce que je suis juste en train d'informer les gens. On a un permis pour être ici et
Ce que
tout.
j'ai vu faire, on l'a fait.
Ah, ok, cool.
Toi aussi? For all the work you and the other organizers, Jenny, Peter, and others did, because that is not only a huge amount of work, but it's very stressful. It's very stressful. And you lay the foundation for everybody else.
Do you guys want to know what we're doing? Would you like to know what we're doing right now?
No, thank you.
Have a look at it. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's a kind heart right now. It's always good to inform yourself and educate yourself rather than not know what we're doing, right? Then you can make decisions.
An amazing speech. You just made all that up on the spot. Thank you so much, Len.
Woo! Yeah, Len!
that's it, guys. Thank you so much. This has been like a thing in my imagination that came true in front of my eyes, and it's been amazing. Thank you so much to my team, to Max. Thank you, Max. Thank you, Clara. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Jenny and Peter. Who am I forgetting? Am I forgetting someone? Thank you, Josh. Josh, where's Josh? Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Rick. Rick, where's Rick? He's doing his job. That's what he's doing. Thank you, everyone holding this banner. You can stop now. And then that one too. Thank you so much. I can't wait to do this again next year. It has been amazing. Just FYI, we still have a petition that you can sign, that we want other people to sign. If you have any flyers left on you, please give them to people as we head back to the market. Please give them to your friends, your family, whoever. Please sign the petition, share the petition. Thank you so much. We will, it was an amazing day. I don't know how we'll do it better, but we will do it bigger and better next year. We will do it every year. And we hope,
have to do it next year.
And we hope that one day it will be in other countries. You know why? Because Germany abuses animals, New Zealand abuses animals, Sri Lanka abuses animals, Amsterdam abuses animals, Australia abuses animals. This is not just about Canada.
A spider.
It's not. So let's watch it grow. Let's watch this turn into a global movement. Thank you so much. Woo! So I was thinking last thing, we could, if you guys all liked the thing we did with the music and the signs, we could do that one more time and then that's it. Are you guys cool with that?
Yeah, one more time.
From the top.
From the top.
From the top.
From the
Is this a good place to do it? Yeah? I mean, there's...
You have been broken, your innocence stolen. I hear you whisper underneath your roof.
What a beautiful group of people.